bomber.
Who will burn Republican trash?
Good riddance.
We'll flay you alive! Oh! You hear that? I gotcha! I gotcha!
Manus is stuck on an upper ledge, but we have to move forward.
We'll lose a lot of men if the cliff collapses!
Right now, I'm more worried about these bloody souls being puked out of the earth.
Right, let's keep it together. We move as one and do what we do best. Wait, you smell that?
Sulfur!
A demon.
We can't handle it. We need to get back to the purifiers now. Wait, you smell that?
Sulfur!
Demon.
We can't handle it. We need to get back to the purifiers now.
The air's freezing!
Soul magic. What the hell happened here?
He's one of us.
A scout.
Hey, soldier, you alright? Where's the rest of your squad? Soldier?
Who's alone?
He's in shock. Leave him be.
Shut up.
Who's alone?
Shut up!
We don't have time for this. Let's move. I'm not alone!
Val! Darling, you're gonna owe me big time.
I praise your resilience, mortal. You will make a fine host.
Val, it's now or never.
Now come to me. Come to me and be reborn in service of the Sleeper.
Purifiers only serve mankind, demon.
I do not request. I command.
Purity and sacrifice! I can't. He's too strong. Val, I need you now!
Be at peace. For soon you shall be no more. Only human after all. Disappointing.
You owe me an explanation. Let's go, let's go!
I'm not quite dead yet. What happened back there? I feel different. How is it that I can use witchcraft now? None of this makes sense. Zvria! They must have pulled me out of the water. But what of Val? Did she drown? Valeria! Val!
You look awfully real for a nightmare. What was that? He's possessed by a demon? Yes. Let's hope you're wrong. Otherwise...
Talking to yourself again.
Speak of the devil. Darling, I need a moment. Talk to you later.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Easy now! Val, snap out of it! It's me, damn it!
Horseshit!
Did you knock your head? Who do you expect me to be exactly?
Oh, I don't know. Some bloody demon.
What? No, look. I've no idea what's going on. I was having my ass kicked when something awakened from within to save me. I need help, all right. But I'm not some demon, goddammit. Come on, Val!
Oh, really? Prove it.
You're a tool.
That does not seem like something a demon would say. All right. Point taken. So, what now?
Frankly, I don't know. We should regroup with Operation Dawnbane, shouldn't we?
In your state? Flinging magic and turning into a monstrosity. No, 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 no. They'll burn you alive.
Hemlock wouldn't.
Perhaps. But Malis sure as hell will, and with a smile on her face. Look, let's get out of here first, then we'll figure something out. A winged sphere. They do come in every shape, don't they?
Mutations.
No matter, they die all the same.
Damn right. This place reeks of death.
These people are getting torn apart. I don't get it. Svea aren't normally this bold, not without good reason.
That soul demon first, now this. There's something wrong around here. Something very wrong.
A demon in the open can only mean that something major's about to happen. But what?
We must pull back! We're too exposed!
If we do, the civilians will get slaughtered.
Better them than us. Let us in!
We beg you! Mercy!
Murderers! Back away! Back away!
I know that face. You've got a plan. All right, let's hear it.
You need answers, and I don't think Malis will get you anything more than a rope around your neck. So, here's my plan. You wait for me in Stormfall. Easy enough, yes? Meanwhile, I meet up with our forces and I try to talk to Edric about the situation. To see how we can convince our people that you're not a bloody demon.
Agreed. I would rather appreciate not being executed. Where do we meet?
On the way here, I heard talk of an inn in Stormfall, the Laughing Seagull. I'll meet you there. Keep a low profile till then.
Why don't you let people in?
For the 100th time, this city is already filled to capacity with refugees. We are not letting anyone in.
Look, I really need to have access. Let me through.
That's not how things work, friend. Only conscripts are allowed through. Order of the merchant Prince Damascus himself.
So you want fighters? I will fight. Now stand aside.
You are serious, my friend. Well, all right then. Go through to the farmlands on the other side of the city. Anyone else want to fight for Stormfall? No. That's what I thought.
Dawnfall, Jewel of the Sea. Let's see what you've got for me.
I don't want to die. I am not a hero, you hear?
It's either that or we throw you back outside the walls.
No, please.
Filled to capacity, huh?
Conscript, report to Thunderblade Farad at the battlefront.
Pay attention! You are all that stands between the Greens and your families. So stop sobbing and get ready for hacking. Make every blow count.
But we're not even trained. How are we supposed to kill them?
You use the sharp edge. Civilians. Another new conscript, huh? You look different from the others. Oh, I know. You're not wetting your pants. How come?
I've been on battlefields before.
A soldier, huh? My lucky day. I need someone for a mission. Think you got what it takes?
I'm listening.
The Sphere have penetrated 2 of the 3 defenses we built to stop them. Our last working Radiant turret on this side of Stonefall is in Sandor's barricade, north from here. Get to him and tell him that reinforcements will come. But his orders are to hold his ground at any cost. If his line breaks, the farmlands will be lost. The storm be with you. Don't look back.
Hey, Ben. You believe...
Be vigilant! Hold position!
These gods are as scared as we are! We won't see the sunrise tomorrow!
That must be Sandor's barricade.
Please don't tell me you are the reinforcements.
Maybe. I have a message for Sandor.
He is inside, organizing the... Oh no. Greens! The Greens are coming!
I'm going in.
What? Wait! I didn't authorize!
You want reinforcements? I'm all you're gonna get. Now let's go!
Come on, men! Let's earn our keep! Time to show those Greens the color of the storm! Warm her up! I want to hear her sing! Now!
Squad 2, to the west! Squad 3, in position!
Here they come! Knock! Draw! Loose! It's not enough! Unleash the storm now! To hell with it! Fire at will! Give them everything you've got! Stand as one for Stormfall! Tunnelers! Protect the cannon! To the north! Push them back into the ground! Squad 1, take the south! Squad 2 to the west! Show them the might of the storm! We'll live through this! Take cover! Stand your ground! Don't let them get to the cannon! Come on, you big fat green! Who the hell are you, soldier?
Just a messenger.
Some messenger you are. What's the message then?
That the reinforcements are coming soon.
Impeccable timing. Take their sweet time as we get hammered. We won't hold for much longer if they don't get here soon.
There's more. Your orders are to stand your ground at any cost until they arrive.
Are you serious? My men's morale is hanging by a thread. Their friends are dead. They are famished, wounded. We have one cannon that barely works and little to no arrows left. What am I to do? Those buffoons are sentencing us to death for no reason. We won't withstand the next bloody assault.
You won't have to.
Oh yes, and why is that?
I'm taking the fight to them.
Don't be ridiculous.
Watch me.
Come back here, you fool! They have a giant burning one leading them! It will fry you alive!
I'm not letting your men die, Sandor. giant burning one. That explains a lot. I must find this beast and stop it. Oh, not again. It's getting closer to the city. What the hell is going on? The entrance to their network. Sneaky bastards. So many eggs. These are not random raids. They're here to colonize. The phenomenon. That must be why the Severe are flocking to the surface. There's nothing random about this. Its frequency is accelerating.